All right, we are going to get started. Own feed was in my feed here. There we go. Now the chat's working. Look at that. I can even read it. It's fantastic. Hey everybody, welcome to the chat. Today is a extremely important video. We're gonna talk about the first Star Wars movie ever made, Episode 1. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this film. It's been pretty nuts, and I'm surprised people chose this one out of the options. So yeah, this is gonna be really cool. So let me say hi to everybody. We got The Last Jedi in here. We have Dale, Stewart, Carter, Misconduct, Bosk, Bounty, Knighthood's in here. Actually, let me just adjust my mic a tiny bit. And yeah, anybody, oh yeah, that's right. The Phantom Menace is 20 years old this year. That's awesome. I think it's really cool. I wish I was 20 years old this year. Instead, I'm 33. Knighthood, did you ask me a question? I need to know this, and I think one of my questions will be answered. Did Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. know about Project Pegasus? So I haven't seen... I'm assuming that has to do with Captain Marvel. I'm seeing that tomorrow, so hopefully it's fun. Yeah, I'm an old guy, dudes. I'm like 33. I have a kid. I have a daughter on the way. And I'm on the internet talking about Star Wars. But yeah. So yeah. It's gonna be crazy. So I rewatched The Phantom Menace, and I know this is contentious to a lot of people, what I'm about to say, but I do think The Phantom Menace is the best prequel in terms of what I enjoy for Star Wars. And yeah. Oh, cool. All right. So I'm in the middle road here with the ages. Sweet. Nice. I'm so happy that this chat is actually working. You guys have no idea. It's super fun to make sure things actually work. Yeah. So it's so crazy because I feel like Attack of the Clones and the Revenge of the Sith, which, based on my previous video, I said The Force Awakens has the best opening, but I would say the second best opening in all of Star Wars is Revenge of the Sith. So I'm probably going to start doing an opening series, because I really thought that video was fun. But yeah, there's something about The Phantom Menace. It's so physical, it feels lived in. Sure, it slaps sticky as hell, but at the end of the day, I just feel like The Phantom Menace felt pretty Star Warsy to me in the physical aspect of things and the way things were shot. You like The Phantom Menace more than The Phantom Menace. A lot of retracted messages today. Yeah, interesting question, Carter. Where did Maz get Anakin and Luke's lightsaber? Hopefully we find out in episode 9. Hey, what's up, Branster? Are you able to stream again? I remember there's some snafu going on. But yeah, so when I was watching it, and let me know if you guys felt the same way when you first saw The Phantom Menace, but I really didn't, I wasn't bothered by all the political mumbo jumbo, as they say. Like, sure, there was some sort of highbrow discussions in the beginning of trade blockades and taxations, whatever, and for me that was probably if like the parents went, and then everything else was just spectacle. So to me, it was so fun to watch. And I really freaking love, hey, what's up, TK2507? I love everybody that has Stormtrooper helmets on. It's just, I love it. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I just feel like The Phantom Menace was just such a traditional Star Wars film. I don't know. I loved it. But yeah, like, I'm gonna say your name probably wrong here. Panagoides? Is that how I say your name? Yeah, the politics in episode 1, they now make sense to me. Completely. And a lot of that has to do with me watching other channels discuss said trade blockades and what was going on in the galaxy at that time, because it wasn't exactly as clear as it could be in the film itself, but I don't care. I thought it was so fun to rewatch, and the pod racing scene. Like, I know people that are so against the pod racing scene, or they. You spelled my name oh, sorry, I'm just reading the chat here. But yeah, I just feel like it just was so good, and it's crazy. It had the most simplest score in some regards to me. Like Duel of the Fates is such a coverable song on any instrument because of how simple it is. Oh, Carter Lovejoy. Yeah, that's true. Well, you know what's funny about that? I think I saw like a super cut of that. I don't know who did it or where I saw it, but I remember seeing that. But then again, there is like scene direction, so I wonder if they were just like way too concerned with not breaking what is called the 180-degree rule. And when you do that, it can kind of make people feel, or it can make the audience not sure of the actual physical space that people are occupying as they communicate or talk to each other. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to type that in later on today. Yeah, turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. So how old were all you guys when you saw that? I was actually 12. I saw that opening day. Yeah, and that Duel of Fates, like Boss Bounty saying, it's so good, but it's a straight up like punk song. So I play in punk bands, or I did. Lots of really fast skate thrash punk stuff, metal, emo, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I remember listening to that song, and it's like, whoa, like it goes into that whole thing, and then like I realized I could turn this into a ska song. So me and my buddies did, and it was fantastic and super easy to transpose to music on a guitar, drums, and bass. So John Williams is a genius. Rural Farm Boy, you were 33 in 1999. It's amazing. So that means this year will be my Rural Farm Boy year for Star Wars, because my episode 9 will be when I'm 33. Kind of interesting. I've revolved around the sun 33 times. That's insane to kind of think about. Well, yeah, so everybody's 99, 2003, born in 2000. Cool. You guys are born in the best period of punk and emo music, and now it's all junk. Used to be a huge fan. I think I talked to a couple of you guys offline about some music way back, but not sure. So another thing about the Phantom Menace, which I think is fantastic. Oh, hold on, let me answer your question. Favorite prequel meme? Oof. That's impossible. It's just impossible. You know what? Maybe I'll post my favorite prequel meme up on Twitter later on today at what's it called? NBreck Edit. Yeah. Yeah, Carter Lovejoy. Freaking punk and emo did turn into mumble rap. That's actually hilarious. I think about that often. It's just super weird. I miss the old kind of 90s like garage, like June Blossoms music that got heavily distorted with screaming people in the 2000s. Like, I love that stuff. But anyways, enough about emo. We're talking about the Phantom Menace. So yeah, I really like that, like, you know, they're really on sand, they're really in rooms, they're really in settings, and they're really interacting with each other, except for Jar Jar. Even though, you know, it was a guy on my best wearing like a silly hat, sort of, in like an orange costume. But I thought, when I watched like the behind the scenes and the documentary afterwards, even though there's that like scene where they all preview the film and they're like, oh crap, what have we done? It's really not that bad. Like, people seem to grab something out of one of the films that they don't like when people are pissed off at a film, and they pick it apart to such a degree that like they can't enjoy any aspect anymore because of the one thing. And I think that's probably what happened with a lot of people. I don't know, because when I was growing up, like, you couldn't even talk about enjoying the prequel trilogy or anything. It was crazy. Do I want Hayden Christensen in episode 9? I think it'd be fantastic if Hayden Christensen did come and make a debut or some sort of Force Ghost appearance. I think that would make a ton of people happy, and it would definitely tie up the what's it called? It'll definitely tie up the 9-arc trilogy, or the whatever you want to call it. What do you call 9 movies? The trilogy? I don't know. I need to search that. Nice, we got 15 people hanging out today. I like it. You know what's probably going on? I totally forgot this. Today, a Ninthology. Today is St. Patrick's Day. I had no idea. I like barely drink beer anymore because I don't have time to go to bars and hang out with people because I'm a daddy. But, you know, happy St. Patty's Day. Hey, what's up, Lycan? Welcome back. Nice to see you here, dude. FN1189, yo. I've yet to talk about Evil Jar Jar. I love Evil Jar Jar. I think it's the funniest kind of like way to look at his goofy ass character. And there are some interesting edits where like they show his mouth moving and it looks like he could be saying something. But either way, I think it's just hilarious to consider that, like, imagine that Jar Jar was the quote-unquote actual puppet master behind everything. Like, imagine episode 9 hits and, like, it pans down to, like, a planet and there's a throne and then just, like, a hooded figure with, like, sort of a wobbly eyeball thing popping up, and then he turns around and he goes, I would literally die laughing. I'd probably leave the theater, but I'd also die laughing. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Stuart, honestly, I didn't really get into drinking beer much until I was in college, but everybody goes through their phase and hopefully gets over it, and that's it. I'm just not really, I like having a casual drink every now and then. That's really it. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. You guys are gonna hear this, unless my noise gate's working. Jarek Tam. Yes, exactly. Just watched The Phantom Menace today. I think it's still great, and Jar Jar Binks wasn't as annoying as in my memories. I see him a little bit as Niku. Yeah, you know what? That's a great way to look at Jar Jar and Niku, because I think a lot of people might have been annoyed with Resistance, which, don't spoil anything for me yet. I haven't seen it. I unfortunately don't have, I don't do cable. I have a bunch of streaming services, and one of them isn't Disney or whatever the hell is available. So I have Amazon. So I download the entire season, but I don't get to have access to it until midnight tonight. So that's when I'm watching it. But yeah, so back to Jarek Tam. So the Niku thing, and the Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, he isn't that annoying to me. He's goofy, and he makes fart jokes. But then again, I feel like Lucas was just kind of going for that at that point. He gave us some crazy dark stuff for the older crowd. He gave us some derpy stuff for the younger crowd. It was a little all over the place narratively, but it was cool. And I definitely do not get bored watching it. And that's like one of those things. Yeah, so Resistance is on Prime. Bosk, exactly. Yeah, Carter, I don't like cable. I feel, but the issue with all these streaming services now is they're getting so like specific with what they offer that you almost have to get everything. So the second Disney Plus is available for me to start, I'm getting rid of I think Hulu and something else, maybe. We'll see. Hold on 1 second, guys. I had a burp and I can actually mute myself this time. Nice. Successfully burped without it going through the stream. Yeah, so I can't wait to watch Alex and theirs review, and then I also need to watch Yoda Bauer's review. I usually go to her first. Yeah, I like her reviews; they're really fun. She has a really good intro to her show. You guys should go over to that channel; it's super fun. Star Wars Refuge, good stuff. Oh. Oh, nice. Couldn't hear music for a second. There we go, it's still going. So, one thing I was thinking about is that once I see this episode, I didn't want to keep doing reviews of Resistance, since we're on that subject right now just for a little bit. And what I really want to do is do a long video covering it, what worked, what didn't work for me, and why I overall like really think it was a pretty solid show. I think that's more my speed, and it'd be cool to like just have access to, cause I have like all access now to everything in terms of all the episodes, so now I could actually edit something that looks nice. So I think I'm probably gonna do something like that, which is gonna be fun for me and hopefully fun for you guys. I love doing the more longer videos. So I'm not sure if you guys watched, I think I posted it yesterday, the one on the intro of the Force, the Force Awakens. But yeah, those are like, I don't know why, I'm just starting to gravitate more and more to taking a little bit of time and doing that kind of stuff. Misconduct. Well, you know what's crazy? I would definitely say you can make a living playing video games professionally. It's pretty wild. It's crazy to me that you can do that. Yeah, Stuart, I would say he's the ringleader of the Star Wars online community, but there's so many channels. I was like really looking into it the other day, and I just couldn't believe how many channels there are on YouTube for Star Wars. So I'm sort of lucky to be growing. It's crazy, you know, there's so much people doing it. It's YouTube. So let me catch up with a couple of these questions. Poor Chancellor Valorum, his rule is apparently so bad that the senators around him are the ones making decisions. Yeah, you know what, Knighthood, I'm curious, should I buy, because I've only read Revenge of the Sith novelization, I didn't read the other two. Do you think it's worth a read to read the Phantom Menace novel? Because I do have like a bunch of credits left over for what's it called, Audible? So I might do that. Oh, Misconduct, nice. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what you can do professionally now that the internet exists. Carter Lovejoy, that'd be unbelievable. It'll never happen though. I'm still I have nothing against, like, I don't know Star Wars theory. I just feel like he kind of sometimes either accidentally or knows what he's doing and he stirs the pot sometimes. So I don't like that stuff. The way that I stir the pot is by making goofy skits. That's about it. Oh, cool. All right, yeah. Then I'll check that out. Panagoitus. Dude, your icon kicks ass. I love this, the silhouette Kylo Ren on red. It's like one of my favorite looking scenes in The Last Jedi. So, back to the Phantom Menace. You know what's really crazy? Who do you guys think is the main character in the Phantom Menace? After watching it again, that question still remains. Who is the main person? They're really, like, I never had a sense of the three or that kind of thing that, like, is really prevalent in the OT and the ST. But, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, like, it seems like they wanted Qui-Gon to be the main dude that we were on, I think. All right, yeah, it looks like a couple guys agree. I think what they were going for was Qui-Gon Jinn. But there's something about it that, like, we don't get to learn enough about him until all these other ancillary things come out to be like, yeah, this dude's the legend that we always wanted as a Jedi. Because concerning everything I know about Qui-Gon Jinn, he is without a doubt my favorite Jedi. And I think he is the best Jedi. He might not be the most powerful Jedi, but I think he's the only one firmly to understand the purpose of his relationship with the Force. That's the way I'll put it. I don't want to say like Jedi or Sith, because for me, Qui-Gon may have been above labels. He may have been kind of like the Bendu, or he may have eventually gone down that route. Yeah, exactly, Rural. And are you guys fans of the hey, what's up, Wafes? Can you phonetically type out how I'm supposed to pronounce your name? I keep on thinking it's W-A-Y-F-E-Z-E, like Wayfees or maybe Wayfez, I don't know. Yeah, knighthood. Yeah. But and what's crazy, okay, let me put two chats in one answer here. So we're talking about Qui-Gon again and Yoda. That's the thing. Once you learn about everything concerning Qui-Gon, you realize that he, you know, he's not one of the unifying Force followers. He doesn't care about the past or the future. He needs the now to direct him. No matter what might be going on, he lets the Force guide him. He doesn't try to steer the direction of events, which is kind of like, well, the Council worked, in my opinion, or is presented. So oh, hold on, let me answer a question. I hated the PT at first because it didn't meet my expectations being an OT fan. Do you think that's a huge reason why a lot of adult fans now hate the ST? Very good observation. I would say yes. I think I actually even talked about that once, maybe, I think, way back on this channel. I don't remember what video, but yeah, I was saying, I think I finally understand why people aren't really vibing with The Last Jedi and or the sequel trilogy, and it's like it's catered a little bit to the OT crowd, at least aesthetically and sort of like what they're going for, and then the biggest group right now of Star Wars fanatics are kids that grew up with the prequel trilogy. So I think I said something like it was a huge misstep of Lucasfilm to sort of push that stuff under the rug for a little while, and maybe they should have allowed that kind of wacky, zany world building into the creation of the sequel trilogy. We'll never know what that might have been, but other than that, I think that's pretty on the nose misconduct, I think. FN1189, I do love Red Letter Media. Or was that Mr. Plinkett that did that? Mr. Plinkett's a tough dude to impress. Oh, are we talking about seasons right now? I miss the days. Let me read Carter's post here. I miss the days when we were all excited for a new Star Wars and not hating everything. Well, I luckily don't exist in that universe where people are hating everything. I live in mine. So I'm really excited. Oh, your Discord's gone. That sucks, dude. I'm so bad at my own Discord. I go in there like once a week. I'm sorry, everybody that's in there. Yeah, it's true. That's a correct observation there, Rural. Disney isn't making Star Wars. Lucasfilm is still making it, but Lucasfilm is owned by Disney. So yeah. Star Wars theory is good, but flawed like the Phantom Menace. We all are, my brother. I am as flawed as anybody else. That's a funny thing about running a channel is like, a lot of people get an impression of you, right? I'm sure there's an impression of me. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can do something real quick. Am I able to add a video capture device Let me try this real quick. Hopefully this doesn't make the stream explode. Ha 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 ha. Let me put this here. Was this the impression you guys thought? My little stash? So I'm just gonna have this up for a second as I talk. You know, a lot of people have an impression of everybody on here, and it is what it is. So let me just turn this off now that I can go, so I can go back. It's just, you know, it's one of those things where we're all flawed, we're all doing our thing, and being on here, sounding positive all the time gives off an air of happiness or whatever, and we're all always struggling with something. I'm really overtired right now because I didn't get to sleep a lot last night, you know? And it's like, that's what it is. Yeah, I shaved off all my hair, I had to. I couldn't deal with it anymore. You guys like that giant face that popped in? I'm like slowly creating an actual visibly nice looking space now in my house. I got an HD TV mounted on the left. I got everything going on. I got my Xbox 360 controller finally connected through Steam. All that stuff. I've been playing the Force Unleashed. I'm gonna start streaming that, hopefully a lot, but we'll see. Because I'm gonna be starting a job in a couple weeks, or yeah, 2 weeks, and I'm a little worried that I might have not enough time to write some more longer content. So I'm gonna offset it by streaming more, and hopefully you guys are into that. So let me answer a question from Knighthood. Why does you think Lucas paired up Anakin with an idealist? Which specific film, maybe, are we talking about? I might better be able to answer that. And do you mean an idealist meaning Obi-Wan Kenobi, who like believes there's no fault in the Jedi Order or the Council? I guess I'll wait. Oh, with Padme? Like, why? Like, well, interesting story. I feel like there's a lot of reasons for their pairing beyond well, beyond it being like a movie motivator. I feel like Padme sort of acted this is gonna sound really weird. I feel like Padme was sort of like his surrogate mother for a little while, like the woman in his life, because he no longer had his mom. He was completely alone, whatever, and he had Padme, who, like, you know, he transferred all of his love into her, right, and got really possessive. So I guess narratively, I think what George was trying to go for was to put a very confused young little kid who doesn't know where to aim himself. He doesn't know where to aim himself, left or right, you know, back towards his mom, back towards Padme, to the dark, to the light, and he just, you know, goes towards Padme. I don't really know if that's a great explanation, but I'd have to think about that a little longer. And FN 1189 said, "Isn't Anakin more of an idealist?" I think Anakin is a perfectionist, more than an idealist, and hopefully that makes sense. I can go further into what I mean. I don't think in the Phantom Menace we really get to know anything about Anakin other than he's like a little bit of a whiz kid. He is super sensitive to the will of the Force because of his high, 20,000 per cell midichlorian count. So, like, we learn some surface level stuff about him. He's a cute little wacky kid, and basically that's really it. And he can fly a starfighter, which was, you know, to me really cool. But I feel like we don't really get to know much about him until the next two films. Yeah, Anakin does want a dictatorship eventually. I don't think he wants that right off the bat. I don't think he knows what he wants. But I think, oh yeah, let me answer The Last Jedi. He's asked this a few times, and I think I missed it. What do I think of Groot in Infinity War? I hate how they use him as a stereotypical teenager. It really didn't bother me, to be honest. To me, it actually rang true to my cousin. It reminded me of my little cousin. So maybe that's why I don't know. I got a little bit of a kick out of it when he's like, when he says, "Man, you got acorns on you," or something like that. It just reminded me of my cousin. He's a little bit of a, you know, he could be tough. I haven't seen him in a long time. Demon incarnate. You spelled your demon so interesting. It's just like I don't know if you guys ever read that series of books called His Dark Materials, and it has just a bunch of wacky fantasy stories. I think it's a trilogy. They have their souls live on the outside of their bodies, and they're called demons, like that. Really cool stuff. Well, The Last Jedi, well, he's an alien, first of all. Groot's whatever the hell he is. He's Groot. And so I think they probably played him into like, I think they played him into sort of, yeah, a stereotypical teenager, but also like a bit of that comedy sometimes, like, because some of the stuff he did is hilarious. Like, Groot to me is a really funny character. I loved Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Like, perfect. Very, very funny. And I still can't believe that Vin Diesel was doing the motion capture. So that'd be Brendel Gleeson. They've all starred in Harry Potter. Yeah, so Knighthood. I think since we're starting off with episode 1, we might as well just go in order now. Somebody mentioned that last night on Twitter, and I was saying, at least for the first one, for this first live stream on a specific film, I wanted the community to drive it rather than me, because I think it's way funner when I'm doing my stream and interacting with you guys based on stuff that you're interested in, rather than like, here's what I want to do all the time, you know? And sure, I get to do that when I do my videos, but streams are for us, not just for me. So yeah, but from here on out, I do think since we hit episode 1, we're probably just going to go linearly. And do you guys want me to do the anthology films too? Because I will. I'll totally do Rogue One in Solo. Even though I don't think I've ever actually officially reviewed Rogue One. But yeah, I would love to do another long discussion on it. Okay, yeah, I'll do all of them. The only one I probably won't do, unless you really want me to do it, and I don't know if I could be positive on it, is the Clone Wars film. I could totally do the Clone Wars series, but I can't stay on the Clone Wars film. I'm sorry. It's just not for me. I know it's necessary if you watch it in like chronological order, but oh yeah, I love this song that's playing right now. I gotta figure out how to get the little song player thing going on above. Oh, and I hope you guys can notice too that the background of my stream right now is actually a pod racing scene. I was like, I gotta do something like that. Yeah, Knighthood. I would love to talk about all the films. Well, question. Oh, take it easy, Last Jedi. Thanks for hanging out, man. It really means a lot, dude. So, is there one specific thing about Attack of the Clones you want me to jump into? Because I had like a little bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like now there's something super amazing about Attack of the Clones, the first act, and I'll probably talk about that a lot more when I talk about it. But yeah, that is a really good full first act. Oh, Misconduct. Actually, you know what? I was thinking about doing that, doing some more like live streams, because I was doing like movie commentary, and I did what, 3 of them, I think. And then I realized that like it wasn't so fun doing it alone, so I think it would be awesome actually to do it this way. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I'll make sure that I set that up way in advance so people can sort of plan if they want to really do that. Sweet. I'm glad that makes you pumped. Yeah, so I'll do that then. That sounds freaking awesome. Where was I with the Phantom Menace? What did we leave off on? Yeah, I probably will be doing it on the weekend for sure. It's honestly the only time I can do stuff like that. Like to have like 2 hours to do something like that is like insane. Especially being a dad. It's just like, you know, two hours is a precious commodity now. I don't know. I just read this so incorrectly. Anakin's reincarnated into his pod racer. I don't know why I read that, but I think that'd be really funny. So the next film will be Anakin Skywalker. Oh yeah, let's talk about some midi-chlorians. Who loves midi-chlorians? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so when I did that video about the Force and the nature, we're talking about Qui-Gon and his connection. I feel like at first midi-chlorians came off a little strange, and I'll say that, yeah, like I can understand why people were like, no, that spiritual thing got taken away. But when I researched it and you really look into it, it didn't take away that at all. It just made sense of it. At least that's how it did for me. How could you communicate with an entire energy field that is like, let's say, so let's say planet Earth is the whole universe. Let's just make it tiny for us to be able to wrap our minds around it. If the whole Earth is the universe and all the energy in that thing is tapped into the Force or created by the Force, and all living things within that can communicate back and forth because of these midi-chlorians, then what's really going on is that there really is no specific like individuality to like all of life. It's sort of like one giant thing, and that's why I feel like when people die in the Star Wars universe, they become one with the Force and they lose their consciousness, because there never truly was like an ego. It's like a superficial thing, right? So, and the people that are able to come back to influence the living are the ones that already understand that in life, like Qui-Gon. And he completely surrendered his entire ego over to the Force as he died. And that's why he meditated too, before finishing his duel and then getting stabbed by Maul. He was meditating. I think this is the truth. I could just be bullshitting right now. I think he was meditating because I think he knew he was about to die, and he wanted to get that transition into the next realm going, supposedly. But the midi-chlorians, Qui-Gon says right to Obi-Wan in the Mortis arc, it's because of the midi-chlorians that I am here now, able to communicate with you. So something inside of Obi-Wan's body, the midi-chlorians, just allows him to tap into everything. And yeah, it's like, I wanted to call it like the tapestry of life, kind of, but that's such a cheesy way to put it. But it's like the fabric of space or something, or like the top of a pond of water. When you drop something on it, you know, sure, you could take out little individual drops out of the water and say, look, there's one drop of water, but it's from one gigantic pool. And if we're all part of that and something gets dropped into it, we're all going to feel that ripple. And then boom, I got a bad feeling about this. About this, elusive, somewhere else. That whole intro part with Obi-Wan, you know? Like he felt something that rippled in the Force. Oh, did I miss something up here? I think everyone was on cocaine when that film was being made. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, boss, that's also a true, or not a true, that's also a good observation and an interesting way to look at it too. Yeah. Isn't it crazy that, like, Qui-Gon ended up just, like, besting Maul twice? And then it's I don't know if anybody else saw this thing, but there's a picture of Obi-Wan holding Maul as he died, and a picture of Obi-Wan holding Qui-Gon. And it's exactly, like, it's like a perfect analog to Qui-Gon Jinn. It's crazy. Like, there's so much like empathy towards Maul as he dies in Obi-Wan's hands. It's really wild. That was one of my favorite things that Rebels did. Yeah, knighthood, exactly. It's like, how do we get, like, that whole thing from Obi-Wan's first speech. It binds us, penetrates us, binds the gal, whatever. It gives a Jedi his power. Now, the whole thing, like, it gives a Jedi his power, or her power. I feel like knowing that all of life that exists in the Star Wars universe has the midi-chlorians in it, I pretty much think that it's saying that, like, you can, like, anybody can feel the Force or tap into it, and it just, if you're really sensitive or not to it, that's pretty much if you're going to be plucked out to become, you know, a super Force user. You know, you're going to be a Jedi or a Sith. But honestly, I feel like regular ass people are feeling the Force. It's just a normal thing, like us feeling gravity. I just think it's in a ubiquitous thing that everybody can tap into. And now that I've done that video, I just feel that way. So yeah, it'd probably have to be over 20,000. It would have to rival Anakin's at least. You know what's funny? Knighthood, I can see your icon so much better in my live chat in my stream than in the live chat on YouTube. I finally can see what it is. I wonder if they'll even say anything about midi-chlorians in episode 9. You know what? I'm gonna skip this song because it's such a sort of meh. There we go. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so another thing that's really kind of funny to me, and I was watching this last night, and this kind of has to go into, like, I feel like at the end of the film, perhaps Lucas didn't have much more budget or something, because I feel like the Battle of Naboo against the Gungans and the droid army, that still doesn't look good no matter what. There's no fixing it. It looks like a super high-res smooth video game. So it's too bad that they it was 1999. It would have been really cool to see them do more stop animation, but oh well. Maybe in 30 years we'll get the prequels special editions. Imagine, completely re-rendered with new CGI, new technology, but that would be, I don't know, that'd be maybe overkill. Oh, FN 1189. Take it easy, man. Thanks so much for hanging out. Everybody say bye to FN 1189. May the Force be with you, man. Yeah, I'm curious where Disney officially is with the midi-chlorian stuff, because some of that is sort of part of, if I'm not mistaken, the anthology book. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, man. It's really cool. But I feel like, I don't think they're ever just gonna say it. It might just be one of those things too, like I actually can't remember how often midi-chlorians are mentioned in the PT. Is it really? I think it's only in I think it's only in the Phantom Menace, actually, right? Oh, very curious question here. Westminster Abbey, hey there. Sorry I'm late. Out of curiosity, have you talked about Wayward Jedi's sudden shift yesterday? It's intriguing, but also a little frustrating, seeing as he deleted all of his videos. Yeah. It was a strange thing. I don't know too many people that have literally started over their YouTube channel like that, or whatever he happens to be doing, which I think that's what he's doing. He's like rebranding himself as like iJedi or something. Or Infinite Jedi. I think he's actually fine. but I don't know. He actually responded to me, I believe, on his Reddit. Just mentioned something about his YouTube channel. So I'm. See y'all later. He posted today. Check out the article. Oh, cool. But yeah, I think he's okay. What I think is going on is that he might just be restarting. I'm not sure. Either way, he's a brilliant dude, well-spoken. I listen to that guy talk. He's a young kid too, like 25 or something. I listen to him talk forever. He's so smart, very eloquent. He has a very interesting background, and he really understands. He really understands. Oh, here it is. Oh, so hold on, guys. I'm just gonna check this out because this actually really is important to me. This thing with Colton, because he is also one of the people that got me really into wanting to do the YouTube stuff. Oh, what is this? Man, this is super long. I guess I'll have to read this later. Interesting. Yeah, well, you know what? You know what I wonder? Sometimes, like, I feel like somebody might get to a certain point with the content that they're making, and they're like, that's all I have to say about it. And then if they keep trying to do more stuff, they realize that they're kind of faking it. And perhaps that's what's happened. Maybe he said everything that he had to say. You know, he put out some of the greatest theories, period. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he did what he wanted. He accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. He knows he can do it again. And maybe he finds that this other thing is way larger, less competition. He can have a little more fun with it. So could be that. It's a little sad that we won't get his Star Wars thoughts if he's really not doing that anymore, but you know, oh well. I should have downloaded those videos. Oh, interesting. So I'll have to go check out his video then. Yeah, his analysis is the way he thinks about Star Wars, Kyle, is fantastic. He was probably the one that made me convinced on Reylo, and not like, I don't want to say like Reylo #Twilight vampire love derp. Like, I'm not into that stuff. What I'm talking about is like just the actual sense of love or growing bond between Rey and Kylo Ren. So, and I really do. So we're talking about the Phantom Menace, right? There's Anakin and Padme, and I think he's dead on the nose about Anakin and Padme and Kylo Ren and Rey. So I do think. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little dry throat. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. I just feel like it's so obvious, the two. It's like the universe was like, here are these two people that will balance the things out, and they fucked it up, right? They completely screwed everything up. That's what the prequel trilogy is about. It's about hubris and about selfishness. It's about not listening to people. Like, the council didn't heed Qui-Gon's warnings about anything. Like think about how arrogant Mace Windu is as a character. Most arrogant Jedi, period. Maybe the most powerful on the council, arguably, at least in my opinion. I think he might kick Yoda's ass. He's a Vapad kind of guy. But I just feel like they're just kind of arrogant assholes, right? Then you got Obi-Wan, who's like so endearing and so down to earth, yet wants to be sort of friends with everybody, or like listen to the council because these are good to do. And then there's or did I say Obi-Wan? Yeah, Obi-Wan's that guy. And then Qui-Gon is the person who's just like, I'm just gonna listen to what the Force tells me. You know, had he lived, I think the argument is, I'm pretty sure had he lived, none of the galaxy would have went into the darkness that it did. But we just had to see why it did. And you know what it was? Everybody didn't listen to Qui-Gon. Oh yeah, so Westminster. Yeah, I totally understand that. It's fun to go back and I used to always go back and listen to that stuff, or his old videos, but it's, I don't know. Hopefully he uploads them again somewhere. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's too bad. But yeah, so what is Mace Windu said? He's like, we would have felt the Sith, blah blah blah. You know, I can't exactly remember. Like they would have known if the Sith were present or something. They don't believe Qui-Gon Jinn, right? Why wouldn't like why didn't they though? Because like they're so obsessed with reading the future or the past and like, you know, the course of the future and all that nonsense instead of paying attention to now, right? Like the whole movie begins telling us the most important thing in the beginning of the film. Keep your mind here and now where it belongs. And unfortunately, only Qui-Gon completely understood that aspect. How was the youngling? The youngling's good. I pretty much, I just, yeah, I answered my own cue. Sometimes I do that. I talk around in circles until I've answered my own questions. The youngling, he's good. I was with him most of the day alone today. The wife, every day or a couple days a week, she gets to like chill and do her own thing just because, you know, you need time to go relax. She doesn't get to do it as often because like I work and stuff. So today, she went around, did some of stuff, and it was just me and him hanging out, being goofy. It was great. Fantastic. I put on, what is that movie? I put on the Winnie the Pooh movie. I can't remember the name of it. Christopher Robin. Oh my god, that movie is really good. it's awesome. Yeah, that's the quote, knighthood. I do not believe the Sith would have returned without us knowing. If I was Qui-Gon, I would have pimp slapped him right there. Been like, he had a freaking horns coming out of his face. He had a black robe on. He had red kyber crystals coming out of his lightsaber holes. So, oh my god, he's a Sith. Anthea Jaya? Yeah, I don't know if I said that right, but I agree. That would be really cool. I hope Master and Apprentice, that book when it comes out, is everything I've always wanted about Qui-Gon. Like, I just want as much information as I can get about it. And I got a question for misconduct. So, do I think Padme should have died the way she did in the prequel trilogy? Well, I think it gave a lot of dramatic gravitas to the turn of Darth Vader. I think if she didn't die giving birth, and also the whole suspicion is, I actually don't remember if this is like canon or my head canon. This is how much stuff I read, or like how many theories I listen to. I don't remember if this is canon, if Sidious is actually using her life force to keep Anakin alive. I'm not sure if that's official. Oh, have I seen deleted scenes? Padme burn a knife? No, I haven't seen those. Can you drop that? I'll approve the link if you drop that in the chat, Kyle. Totally drop it in. I can just hit approve. But yeah, should she die that way? I mean, I thought it gave weight. And it gives a sense of tragedy to the creation of Leia and Luke. Like, she gives birth, she says Luke's name, you know, and then we meet Leia, then that's it. And what's crazy is, when you really think about it, like, Anakin totally, like, because he was, oh, it's an abandoned concept, interesting. You know, I know that there's, like, that cosmic will of the Force, and it's always in motion. But if that's the case, or maybe if due to Mortis, but we can't really talk about Mortis, I guess, because we're just talking about the films, and the arc of Mortis did not exist yet in the prequels. So let me try to figure this out with just the prequel films. Like, if there was going to be balance and we had to do a destruction of all the Jedi and the Sith until there was just no other big groups of Force users, and that was the big plan that George Lucas had, fantastic. With that said, I think the Mortis answer, which is that because Anakin denied what he was supposed to really do, as like, you know, the person who has the most midichlorians and the most connection to the Force, whatever, I think the Force course corrected itself, and that course correction led him down a dark path, but it still led him to a way of balance. So they just figured out a means to an ends, no matter what that meant in the middle. And like Luke and the Galactic Civil War and all that stuff was like just that super ridiculous accidental outcome of Anakin's refusal to replace the father. But yeah, I think Padme's death was almost like the Force making, or it was like a necessary evil that the Force made happen almost. Because if like none of that stuff happened, then there would never have been balance in the Force at the end of Return of the Jedi, supposedly. And even right now, I would say in the sequel trilogy, I know, so like Lor San Tekka says, without the Jedi, there can be no balance in the Force. I disagree. I think with the appropriate view on how to use the Force, there already is balance. Yeah. I mean, Kyle, it's totally like it's a Star Wars-y way to go, that's for sure. And it didn't make me go, ugh. You know, the only thing that in Revenge of the Sith that made me want to like cut out my own eyeballs and boil them and then send them to somebody was the no. No, it was so ridiculous. Here's how that scene would have been way more awesome. Well, misconduct, theoretically, like, I feel like that's probably what happened. But so the no, yeah, I can't stand that. I feel like Anakin Skywalker should have been panicked that he was encased in a suit. I think he should have been so panicked and so scared that he lost complete control of all of his powers and just started destroying everything around him. But we got no, and then he crossed his arms. So I just feel like he was so unhinged at the end before he went into the suit. He was so unhinged. He was screaming with no limbs, "I hate you." You know what I mean? Like going bonkers. And then he was just so docile once he was in the suit. Like that shift is so wild to me. I just wish that he went bananas. Like, and we know how what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, really, Knighthood? Oh, what the frick? They almost did something like that? Man, like, I know he was like crushing things around him a little bit, but it's not like, I'm trying to think of a scene where somebody just like completely loses it. Or something that, okay, this isn't a good movie in my opinion, but the scene in the reveal was a perfect reveal of something grotesque. The reboot of RoboCop. Did anybody see the reboot of RoboCop? Because I'm gonna spoil some things if you didn't. But anyways, so the guys gets re-encased in a mech suit, whatever, in the RoboCop film, and they take all the pieces away, and they show that he's just lungs, some vocal cords, and a head, right? And he just sees that that's all that he is, and he starts losing it, okay? That's essentially what I thought should have happened with Anakin. Like, he has no arms or legs anymore. His skin is completely charred. He's never gonna be without a respirator. He's never gonna be who he was again. He is gonna be in the suit forever until Rogue One came out, right? But either way, for all intents and purposes, he was like in a prison. So anyways, let's talk about Maul though. I think Maul was badass. I wish that he had more to say. That was the one thing I was thinking about while watching The Phantom Menace. Not a lot going on in terms of vocabulary. You know, finally, at last, we will have our revenge. At last, you know, we have that. But I don't know. I wish you didn't have to wait till the Clone Wars, and I wish sometimes that we didn't have to wait till even some of those comics coming out to really get into him and like figure out what makes Maul tick. It would have been cool to see him sort of spread out between 2 films perhaps, but then we'd have been like, oh my god guys, they totally copied Snoke, or Snoke copied Maul if they did that. I don't know, maybe not. Let me catch back up with the chat here. I'm kind of jamming to this song right now. So what are we speculating on? A little bit of Jedi stuff? I don't really have much speculations on 9. I mean, I know a couple official things, and then I know some things that I hope will happen. So yeah, Ray Park. What I do hope is that this movie is long. Like that's my biggest hope. I want a long Star Wars movie. And the reason I say that is because it's J.J. Abrams, and him and his editors are just like perfect at what they do. They can make a turd awesome, right? You know what I mean? Like they just know how to make things move and make you care. So I would love a 3-hour film from him that feels like 2 hours, you know? Because that's what it's going to be like. He's relentless with pacing, and he's in a very good way. Yeah, Stuart, I'm with you. Well, don't let that expectation knighthood bum you out just in case. You never know. Because when you start thinking that it has to be some way, and then it ends up not, it can cause so much anger. And I think that's what happens with a lot of fans. I think they, you know, we do invest a lot of our emotions into these films. So sometimes I get when people get pissed off. I don't approve of how I see people doing it, but that's why I do the channel. I you know, that's why I do it this way. So, but yeah, you don't want to set yourself up to be like, they didn't read my mind, you know, because at the end of the way, at the end of the day, it's just going to be hopefully a film you really dig. Let me answer this question. This music is a playlist of a bunch of random stuff from YouTube, some of my own music that I've made, some of Allison, the band, and some stuff from an album called Galactic Delivery that Hello Greedo let me on, or let me know that this was like free to use essentially. So I hit up the guy and he said cool. I just needed something, so I'm trying to write a lot of my own music, so that way it's, the ad chat is like everything that you see is something that I've made, and if you hear it, I probably made it too. Yes, I want to get that t-shirt, Speculate Responsibly. I love that t-shirt. I need to make my t-shirts. Oh, by the way, I'm starting to set up my own Patreon, guys. That's going to be really, really interesting to try to finish. So I think I'm just going to make it a tip jar for now, but hopefully eventually it'll turn into a nice little space where some people get extra hilarious perks. Maybe you get to see my dorky face more often on there, maybe, who knows. But yeah, I'm gonna start putting that together. I already have something going on. I'm really excited to get that out for you guys. So it's been an hour, but I'm gonna keep hanging out for a little bit. I got nowhere to go. Let's see, should we turn this into a You guys ask me things about, hey, what's up, Alex? Ask me anything about the Phantom Menace, and I'll dive into it. Nah, dude, you're just like Gandalf. You arrived precisely when you meant to. Oh, Stuart, don't worry about that. It's totally one of those things where it's like, at the end of the day, the reason I'm starting a Patreon is for a very sort of specific reason, and that's so I can like just to be completely transparent. It's tough to like spend enough time making content and balance everything else out, and also afford some of the packages that I use to do a lot of the visual effects and editing that I do. So hopefully what's going to happen is like if I can, even if like 30 people out of the 900 subs that I have donate like $1, that like covers a program, which is like kind of what my hope is. So that way I can never have an issue of worrying like, oh my God, am I going to be able to edit because, you know, this program costs this much a month. So that's pretty much it. I'm not going to be super egregious with tiers or anything because I want it to stay fun and really like between me and the community. So oh, you're interested in creating ambient music? I do that all the time. I would say Logic Pro X 100%, but if you have a PC, get Digital Performer. Digital Performer is just as good as Logic, in my opinion, and their automation lanes in Digital Performer are amazing. It's way easier to automate orchestral packages and stuff, which is what I do. I do a lot of composing and orchestrating too. I pretty much do everything. Whatever exists that's creative, I probably do it professionally in some way. But yeah, and this is the next thing that I do, YouTube. This is like my experiment this year. All right, Misconduct, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate when you come in and chat. Oh wait, before you leave, I'm making you a mod. Boom, you're a moderator now. Ooh, Alex, my thoughts on Infinity War. I have a lot of thoughts. I will talk about Infinity War on my episode 1 stream. So, I think it's a fantastic film. Everybody say bye to Misconduct and say, may the Force be with you. Thanks for hanging out. Later. Nice. Nope, we're still going. Stream is still going. So yeah, Infinity War. I think it has a fantastic score. I'm gonna start positive. Great score, great action scenes, great villain. What else did I really like? Great like supporting villains too. What else did I really like? I thought they did a lot of camera work, which was very unique to that one film. A lot of very long shots that sort of made you feel uneasy on purpose. And it was like the one that sticks out to me is when Tony Stark is looking at freaking Doctor Strange and he's like, yo, you doing that hair thing? You being a magician right now? Whatever the hell he says. And then he's like, not at the moment. And then it like, but you never actually leave that camera, right? That camera stays with Tony until he goes all the way outside. The car hits, turns around, turns up. There's that spaceship. We're still one shot. It's like 2 minutes long, I think. It's crazy and a masterpiece of blocking, movement, going through the frame and making us feel really like unnerved. It was really cool. Yeah, Knighthood, that was the thing I thought in their other film that they did. Well, I don't know how many other ones they actually did, the Russo brothers, but I know they did Winter Soldier, which is my other favorite MCU film, or probably my favorite. I have like 5 favorite MCU films, and then the other ones are just okay. Infinity War is in the favorites. But this one seemed a lot more tamed back, sort of, to me, or I don't know. But the plot was really good to me. I think that the idea of like imagine trying to take Infinity Stones, these corny little stones. You know, they're just marbles, right? For lack of a better word. Like they're silly, but they're awesome. They're elemental particles from the beginning of the Big Bang, and I love. Oh, everybody say bye to Kyle. Kyle's heading out. Thanks, man. Thanks so much for hanging out. But yeah, it's so cool that like they make something so silly, so down to earth, and I think it was great. And yeah, like the only negatives I have about that film, to be frank, would have to be it's a little too jam-packed with a lot of things happening. And there is a little bit of a Michael Bay vibe sometimes, and that's really it. So like that's why I kind of give it like an 8 out of a 10 for MCU, which is good. It's a B. But yeah, I think it was probably the second best MCU film I've seen, and maybe one of the best films I've seen, but it just was a little bit busy. And it's funny that I say that because the beginning of The Force Awakens was exceptionally busy, but it worked. So I guess it just depends on the editor and the technique they're using. So I don't know. But I think it's a good film. The only MCU film that I'm absolutely like, ugh. Well, first of all, the Hulk movies I can't really get through. Not a fan of either of them. Oh, interesting, Knighthood. That would actually given them a little bit more brevity. That's a word I've been using a lot. Like when things don't lack or don't have that gravitas, it's hard for me to care. Like there needs to be something. Seeing that tomorrow. Captain Marvel is on the plan for tomorrow, so I think I'm seeing it at 4 in an IMAX theater. I'm ready. Oh, by the way, this is my favorite song by Ulas, The Last Star. It sounds like if magic was a sound, this is the sound magic would make. So, what is my least favorite MCU film? Probably Thor 2? I think? In the Hulk movies? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people sort of mixed reviews. So I don't really have an opinion yet. I didn't like the trailers, to be honest. But I'd never let trailers dictate if I go or see a movie or not, really, because this is the MCU, and I usually try to go see them if I can and I have an opportunity to go check it out. Half of the people that I know that I watch on for movie reviews said it was okay. The other half said it was not. And then actually, let's break this into thirds. It was okay. I heard not okay. And then I heard amazing. So I think I'm probably going to be somewhere in the middle ground somewhere, because I respect a lot of these people that I am sub to. And if they found stuff that was kind of weird to them, I'm sure I'll probably feel the same way. But I guarantee from the way that they explained it that I'm going to enjoy myself. I mean, I didn't expect anything out of Ant-Man, and I really had a good time watching Ant-Man. Yeah, which one though, Knighthood? Both of those films are just so bad. For a lot of different reasons. I'd have to rewatch it again though to like be able to actually talk on it. Yeah, so Stuart, I don't know what it is about Thor 2. It's just not really interesting to me. It looks nice. That's about it. It's like I don't know. It's like if I put on like a yaw sci-fi movie or something. Like I get that vibe when I watch it a little bit, like The Maze Runner. Like beautiful looking, but kind of meh background movie. I'm sorry if that's somebody's favorite film, but you know, we all have our own personal tastes. It's all cool. It's fine. I won't make fun of you. It's so totally cool. So, let's see. What time is it? 5:16. Oh my god. Did everybody pass out? Did my chat go offline? Stuart, have you ever seen the old Batman films? They're hilarious. I suggest it. Blade Runner? Yeah. Oh my god, this song just started playing. Oh my god, guys, it's a dance song. Now the chat's gonna get lit. Oh, nice. I'm glad that it's like not as late for you guys. I like the Sunday stream a lot because more people can hang out. I think more people would be hanging out today if it wasn't like March 17th. Probably people out parading around and doing all that stuff. I never actually watched the Batman TV show, but I love Michael Keaton. Even though like his Batman isn't theoretically on point for Batman, it's a fucking good Batman. He's a psychotic Batman. Yeah, this is my disco. Like Michael Keaton's like psychotic in the first two of those films. So the Bat credit card defeats everything else in the DCU. That's hilarious. I'm one of those rare groups that really likes Batman vs Superman. Like, I know there's stuff wrong with it, but I loved Ben Affleck as Batman. I loved him as this like almost perfect adaptation of the cartoon I used to watch when I was a kid on screen. This big beefy ass dude that is just dangerous. Now the issue is he killed people, right? But either way, like dismissing the final battle, like I think the end of the movie gets kind of ridiculous. I really enjoyed BVS, and I'm a huge fan of Batman. So, but honestly, probably the best Batmans are probably cartoons or the longer cartoon films like Killing Joke, and I even like some of the newer ones that I've seen on Netflix. Yeah, Batman's great. Christian Bale was really good. I have an aesthetic issue with Christian Bale though. Yeah, true Knighthood. I mean, I like I said, I really like the movie. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so I have one issue with the Nolan Batman, and it's Christian Bale's chin. That sounds ridiculous, right? I know it sounds stupid, but he just didn't look like Bruce Wayne to me. But he did a awesome job. The Dark Knight is amazing. It's an amazing freaking movie from the start to the end. There's no bad parts. Zero bad parts in that movie. Everything is good. The Dark Knight Rises was almost as good as that movie until it stopped being as good as that movie. But what Nolan did with Batman was fantastic. Really, really good. And that's partly why I really want to see what Nolan could do with Star Wars. Oh yeah, him as a villain. I totally forgot about that. I've only seen Homecoming a couple of times. It wasn't really my favorite Spider-Man, but I enjoyed it. Oh, nice. I forgot about this hip hop. I liked him in Birdman. That movie was super weird. Imagine Michael Keaton being in a Star Wars film. What would he be? If Michael Keaton was in a Star Wars movie, he would probably be a Beckett-like character, I think. Some sort of bad dude with some good intentions here and there. Just, I don't know. We should do hashtag get him in Star Wars. Yeah, I didn't really like the Ghostbusters 2016 thing. Oh yeah, pilot. He could be a pilot too. I wasn't into it, actually. Not for any like toxic reasons or anything. I wasn't like, I hate women. Why do the women do this? Why? Like, I hate that thinking. It's really weird. It just wasn't funny to me. It just didn't do it for me. And the reason I did go see it is because they filmed it in Boston. So, yeah, exactly. I'm going to read this out loud because it's hilarious. The score was enthralling. The screenwriting was inspired. The cinematography was second to none. The chin just ruined it for me. 2 out of 10. At ass. That'll be my review channel. The at ass. Oh, Rex Smith, dude, you're 100% right. I think about that often with The Last Jedi and a lot of Star Wars things where we don't hear that super cool, like, jibber jabber stuff they do where it's like, like, it's hilarious the sounds those aliens do, like the Jabba, hut knees and all that stuff. What happened to the ass chat? Who knows? He probably gave up. He's probably the guy that's still giving me that one dislike on everything every time. Who knows? But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I prefer alien talk. I thought that alien, it's like they parked their shuttle right there on the beach and I said they couldn't do it, right? That was so dumb to me because while I like, you know, what was happening, whatever there, I was just like, why isn't he just like, you know, like, why not just like go bonkers and say some shit? Why not be just like Solo did it pretty well with, actually, so Solo did it great. Solo did it perfectly. Alien speak. Now, Moloch was fantastic. He would be like, Hisadhidan. You never know what the hell he's saying, but you know it's Star Warsy weird stuff. And I'll often think to myself, I'll re-edit that scene in The Last Jedi when they're in Canto Bight to have aliens speak with that little yellow font underneath. It'd be so cool. Oh my god, Rex. You know what? I'm writing that down, because maybe I'll do that. I haven't done an alternate universe Star Wars parody in like 2 months, which is, I did one, I did my first one a couple months ago, where I did alternate reality R2 and C-3PO escaping the Tantive 4, which I pretty much just did it for me. But I love like alternate storytellings of Star Wars. So let me write this down. Ewoks spoke English. Funny skit. There we go. Nice. Well, only one of them did. So I know a lot about the Ewoks movies because they're some of my favorite movies when I was a kid. Wicket learned how to speak English because of Sindel, and that's why. That's the only reason why. Teak couldn't speak English. None of the other ones could. I think what the Ewok sounds actually were the leftover sound effects for some of the Jawa designs too originally, which was like reverse Swahili with distortion and pitched up and down all over the place. So, also this song sounds like Blade Runner. Anybody a fan of the Ewok movies? Should I review those? Because I think they're fucking awesome. They're so dumb and awesome. Like, I actually think they're at the same level as Willow, that like pocket level of like classic Star Wars-ishness. Cool, man. Yeah, boss, thanks so much for chilling, dude. It means a lot. I'll catch up with you in the Discord. What was I gonna say? What was I saying? Yeah, Westminster, exactly. I don't like the southern accent. It was super strange to me. And they also did that with one of the deleted scenes. With the stormtrooper, Tom Hardy's stormtrooper. It was like a southern thing. I don't know. It was super strange. Oh my god, a drunken Star Wars review. I feel like that would get my channel deleted. Well, let me take 1 or 2 more questions before I probably need to wrap up. And just so you know, I am gonna try to stream a game this week. Specifically, the Force Unleashed, but since I'm such a noob, it's basically going to be you guys watching me learn how to play it. I just mapped out my entire Xbox remote so it can actually work with Steam, and it's finally working. So it's going to be really fun. So I'm hoping that I will do that Wednesday night, probably 8 p.m. my time, because I found out that 7 p.m. is actually a little too early. And I actually have never played The Force Unleashed before. So I played around a little bit today and I had a blast. It was so cool to play. I played Battlefront a lot. Well, not a lot recently. And I loved the 2015 version with everything. And I loved Battlefront 2 for a while, but the campaign was, ugh, it was gross. So I was like, you know what? I haven't actually dove back into video games since I was like 20. I really haven't. I used to play all the time when I was like in 20 years old when I was in college. It was so fun. I never did it. And so now I'm going to do it again. And you're going to see how bad I am. But it's going to be fun. So anyways, guys, it looks like everybody's... We'll send Starkiller after you. Dude, he kicks ass. I love his design. It's so freaking cool. I got the Ultimate Sith Edition. So, all right, guys. Well, it's been real. We talked a little bit about the Phantom Menace and talked about a lot of other things as well. So, I hope it's been super fun for you guys. Did music end up stopping? Here, I'm going to put on this to close out the stream. So it's been really awesome. I really appreciate all the support you guys give. It means a lot. There's going to be another video coming out this week, a little edit from the AT chat as well as the stream, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.